and welcome to Geek Freaks. I am joined by Jonathan
Hey, yo.
and Daniel.
Hello.
You'll notice Jonathan's got that nice new mic, sounds silky smooth. That's because of you guys supporting us. We appreciate it. Next person getting an upgrade is Daniel. If you guys are watching the stream, you'll notice he has a lot of bare walls, and we're going to fancy those up with some soundproofing foam. That's a nice TV you got there, Dan. Is that new?
Yeah. No, actually, I bought it last year. Not really
He
new.
stole it off a truck. He's just not saying it out loud. Okay, we got you.
Uh,
All right, Daniel, what have you been watching on that new TV of yours that you stole off the truck?
Right now, still watching WandaVision, and then rewatching Inuyasha, the
Oh,
anime.
wow. Classic. That is a classic. Good
Yeah. And I finished Supernatural again. I rewatched every episode.
one. Yeah. All right. What about playing? What have you been playing?
Playing, honestly, haven't been playing too much. A little WoW, a little Call of Duty. Just haven't had time because of work.
I feel you. I feel you. John, what about you, man? What have you been playing? What have you been watching?
oh man. So I've been watching Star Trek, obviously. I watch that. That's the show I put on the background all the time to just naturally absorb it. I started, and you're gonna be proud of me, I started watching Arrested Development.
I'm very proud of you. That's great.
Yeah, the guys from that started a podcast. It's really good. I love it. You guys, finished listening to all of our episodes, go ahead and check out Smart List. It's really awesome.
Smart list. Yeah. What are the three guys? Can you name the three guys that are on that show for everybody?
Sean Hayes, Jason Bateman, and Will Arnett.
Great.
And
I mean, it's a great team right there. That's such a good three.
and they bring on some of the best guests too, just mostly celebrities or masters of their field, whatever they study and stuff like that. So yeah, they're really great. So because of that, I've wanted to watch Arrested Development, and I've watched the first 2 seasons of Ozarks, but I didn't watch season 3.
Oh, season three, very good. Yeah.
Listen to Jason Bateman all the time. I'm like, damn, I gotta watch season 3 of that too. So that's on my to-do list. Haven't started watching it yet, but other than that, I've still been. I haven't played much this week, but I have been trying to finish Assassin's Creed Origins to have it ready for our level up review. So I'm gonna wipe that out in the next week or so.
While we haven't even recorded it yet, I'm going to tell everybody that that's coming out at the end of this month because that's my prediction of when we'll be done recording.
That is locked in.
We have a very busy month for you guys, and there's some pre-recording stuff going on and stuff like that because of events that are going down that we just need to kind of get things socked away. So, but a lot of cool stuff coming your way. We have like a live stream event coming up later this month and stuff like that. It's going to be really fun. So, myself playing and watching. What have I been watching? I didn't think about that. I've been playing a lot of Shadow of Mordor, or Shadow of War, actually, the Middle Earth game. Streaming that. Been doing a day-by-day stream on that, so that's pretty fun, where I do, like, day 1, this is what we got done. Day 2, this is what we got done. That's been really good. I was like, well, I've got a lot of games to play that are part of, like, Level Up, because we have the next 2 Level Ups booked, and I'm playing games for those. But it's like, I kind of just need a game that I can just play and not really think about it, because I've already beaten it a few times, and so that's what Shadow of War is, and it's a lot of fun. And then I've been watching, of course, WandaVision, which is just I cannot believe how good that show is. And I keep thinking like, man, this is the best episode yet. And then the next episode comes out, and I'm like, oh, I gotta adjust everything because this is now the best episode yet. It's really really good. So that's been a lot of fun. And then I've been finishing up Daredevil and kind of just checking out. I've been watching a lot of like sitcoms, which has been kind of nice to kind of reset the brain and not have to focus on like the fine details of like say a Game of Thrones type show or whatever like that. So it's been kind of nice. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into our news. First off, I forgot we have some little tidbits that came in at last second. E3 is going online this year. Unfortunate for us. We were looking forward to going. But yeah, best for everybody in general. They are still gathering presenters, so we don't necessarily know who's going to be there. This is going to be the unique challenge because it costs. We don't know the exact number. We do know from outside sources, so this might not be reliable. I don't want E3 coming at us. Because we love you guys, that it costs a little over $100,000 to be a presenter there. So if like you are Xbox, it costs you a little over $100,000 to present there. And after 2020, a lot of people learned how to do their own events. So we will see what the effect of that is on E3. During the E3 presentation, whatever it may be in whatever form, we will be doing the live event. We're going to be streaming it live here, our reactions to everything. We'll do reaction podcasts afterwards. We did that for a lot of things in 2020. And we've learned to get better and better over time. So we're going to be doing that, and it's going to be really fun. And we'll be doing giveaways, because that's something that we're going to be trying to do more and more this year as well, doing giveaways. We have a giveaway coming up later on. Like I think it's 10. No, it's even less than that. I think it's like 7 more episodes until we hit 200 episodes, which just blows my mind. So during that, we're gonna be doing some cool new giveaways for t-shirts and stuff like that. We know you guys like those t-shirts and stickers. Okay, next thing that came in at the last second here: Keanu Reeves has been approached to play Kraven the Hunter. A lot of people wanting Carl Urban for that instead. So Keanu Reeves in the Marvel universe. Is there anybody else you guys want? I know this is all top of the head. It's not part of the notes because this just came in today. Is there anybody in the Marvel universe that you guys want Keanu Reeves to play? Jonathan, let's start with you.
Honestly, I wish I had somebody good for him. He is a great actor, but we have, I mean, a lot of great roles already filled. So I don't think I couldn't find a good place for him.
Right. Yeah. He has this thing where he has like the mask, like he has kind of a blank face for a lot of things, which would make him a great Punisher or something like that. Um, it's a little tricky. I don't know what he could play. Yeah, to me, I mean, they have him set up as Craven, and Craven is good, but people wanted Carl Urban. For you guys who aren't familiar with Carl Urban, he's from The Boys. He's the Butcher from The Boys, so you kind of give you an idea who he is. Um, yeah, Daniel, do you have any idea who he could play in the MCU?
Uh, Not really. The only thing I'm thinking is like Deadshot, but can't really Deadshot.
Deadshot.
I'm just
Oh
thinking
yeah,
like
that's at
John
the.
Wick.
Yeah, you
I'm
basically want a
thinking
new
John
John
Wick.
Wick at him.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want a John Wick. That's what I want.
that's not a bad. I would say like Punisher, right? Because if he could play Punisher, that would be basically your John Wick right there. But even Punisher's a little bit
Yeah.
more like beefy, than Wick is, or than I keep saying Wick, Keanu Reeves. I don't know if he could play that. It would have to be somebody like that, though. I don't know. I just don't want him to play Craven. I don't think he's good for Craven because Craven is beefier. I mean, Carl Urban is really a perfect guy for it. I don't see why it couldn't be him. And he's cheaper. And Craven will only be probably in one, maybe two movies. So you don't necessarily want to waste such a good actor on that, too. You don't want to waste such a big name. And Carl Urban's like right in that sweet spot to be that character.
Could you see him as like Jonah Hex?
Oh, Daniel, what a good idea. Jonah Hex is in the
I'm
DC universe, though, but still, he
not
could be a
Mar.
good Jonah
Yeah, I
Hex.
know, but I mean that's the only thing I can think of. I can't really think Marvel. I can only think like Jonah Hex.
Yeah, but that is a good idea, and we could use a really good Jonah Hex movie because we had that one that was like, okay, let's all forget about that. But we could use a really good one. All right, let's go ahead and get into our prepared notes, things that you guys have not springing on yet. The last minute here, George R. R. Martin, he's released his update. He does a yearly update to kind of let people know how things are going with his writing process. We've all been patiently waiting for Winds of Winter, which is the next book. If you guys who are not familiar with the books, Winds of Winter takes place, to give you an idea compared to the show, after Jon Snow dies. Shows how far back it is in the actual show's storyline. So that's what we're waiting for right now. The book's been delayed multiple times, and he's just been going past these like deadlines, these presumed deadlines this entire time, and uh, and it's been getting worse because the show's done. People are really wanting to see if he changes anything. So my first question for you guys is: would he change? Jonathan, this is mostly for you because I think you have a really good idea on this one. Do you think he would change anything now that the project's done? Because he can't change the ending. So what would he change?
So yes, definitely. I can't wait to see how he writes this, and I really do hope he changes it because in his books he elaborates so much more. There's entire avenues and stories that we don't see in the TV show that make such deeper and more meaningful character development.
Yeah,
So when you see a character die off, it means so much more to you if you actually read the books and know the deeper story behind them, or just their reactions, how they act with other people. I mean, you feel. I mean, it's just a different character. Uh, so I do hope it is vastly different. I know it has to all come back to the same ending, more or less, because his agreement with HBO. But I'm hoping,
hmm
yeah, he takes the long road and makes a different story arc for some deeper, more meaningful character development.
So of the characters that we know of from the actual TV show, do you want there to be any different thing that happens to them, like maybe the Hound or something like that? Because the Hound is still presumed dead, but we have a hint that he's alive. And in the show, he confirms comes back and helps out. Do you think he should come back in the books or something like that?
And I think that'd be great. I think he's a big, fan favorite. And in the books, I know he's written to be more of a gentle giant kind of character. I think he's a better
Yeah.
person in the books
In the
than is
books, he's like
portrayed in the show.
retired peacefully, and you're like, okay, well, have a good day, bye.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that would be great. We're past the point where we could bring back Lady Stoneheart, right?
Okay,
And the
so Lady Stoneheart is active in the books. In the show, she was never used. So that'll be my next question here is what part of the books are you looking forward to the most? What character? So let's go over that. Lady Stoneheart. What do you want to see happen with her?
um, I I should have written the whole story out ahead of time. I don't know. I mean, I want to see her come back and lead. It's hard. I mean, she needs to try to bring her family back together. I
Right.
know they kind of had this draw to naturally because they're the wolves come together in the winter. They kind of had this pack mentality to all come back to Winterfell when things got tough.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be nice to see that she's the one kind of calling her family back together and bringing the pack together as the kind of leader of the pack or the you know the mother of the family kind of thing.
It's funny that we have such different ideas on what we want for her.
Mhm.
So, for you guys aren't familiar, that's Catelyn Stark coming back to life after she was killed by uh, what's his name? It's the Lightning Lord. I can't remember his regular name. Boy, that's gonna
Orc,
drive me nuts. What's that?
Orc or Orc,
No, it's like Barrack or something like that. But these are
yeah,
B.
Lord Varric.
Is that it? Okay. So yeah, so she's alive and stuff like that. And what I actually want for her to be is like this villain that Arya has to kill off, or somebody has to kill off that didn't quite like her 100%, which would be Jon Snow 100%. Jon Snow would be the one that would, for that sense, because I want it to be that she's corrupt now. Because coming back to life, I want it to bring out the worst in you, not necessarily the best in you. And she really can't talk much because her throat was slit at the Red Wedding and stuff. So it'd be really cool if she's like this haunting character that that now is like it's like the Pet Cemetery thing. Like they don't come back as you kind of thing. Where she's back and she's got the worst parts of Catelyn Stark, which is always super jealous of Jon Snow because it was proof of her, well, to her, proof that Ned had cheated on her. So if she's like out to kill Jon Snow or some shit like that, I know right now her big thing she's just hunting down Lannisters, but it would be so cool if they could like lean in on her horror story kind of thing, you know?
She's a lot better writer than I am.
Well, just an idea, you know?
Oh yeah, that would be really good. And to think of the concept like being resurrected from the dead as she was, the brain was returned, but the heart never did.
Yeah.
So she
Ooh,
doesn't have
I like
human
that.
emotion like she should. She just has that raw like I have to do this. I have
Yeah.
just a vengeance to fulfill kind of thing. I only have one purpose that I was brought back for, and yeah, I like that. I like that idea.
Other
That's
things
a
from
good
the
idea.
book that I really want to get more into. Mance Rayder is such a great character, and he's right now in the books. He's infiltrating Winterfell, pretending to be a singer, and then Ned or I'm sorry, John just got the pink letter, which made him like I have to go down and defend Winterfell, and everybody believes that the pink letter is from Bolton. Like that's like the face value of it. I want it to be found out, and this is kind of a fan theory going out there. That it's actually Mance Rayder that sets it down to try to mess with Jon Snow and to get him down here and kind of like throw him off. So I want there to be like this thing where Mance Rayder is this mastermind because he's such a great character that's just not used well enough in the show. Great actor, but not used enough. Something like that. And then of course my favorite character that's not used is Victarion, who is one of the Greyjoys. And my favorite fact about him, and I've mentioned it on the podcast, I had to have, he wears a full set of armor while he's sailing. And what
Oh,
he
golden,
does,
right?
I don't think it's golden, but it is like because they're all about iron, and they actually don't like when people wear gold because it's like, oh, you're fashion. You didn't earn it. You got to earn it by taking it off of somebody
Mhm.
else. What I love is instead of like big ship battles with cannons or anything like classics, they just get the ships close to each other, and he jumps from one ship to another in full set of armor, which means that if he misses, he dies. And he gets on there, and the other guy's like, "We just wear a sword and like shirts and pants," and so he just rips through crews in a full set of armor and beats the shit out of people. And currently in the book, he has a red witch with them, and something happened to his arm. He's like bleeding, whatever. I can't remember exactly what happened, but now it's like all molten with flames and like crusting over. Like if like when lava cools, you can see like there's like still hot lava underneath it. That's his arm right now. He has one arm that's that way, and it's just and he's out to like to go find Daenerys and kill his brother because his brother cheated on his wife or with his wife, and it's all kinds of cool shit. He is a badass character that's not touched. So I really hope that we get more of him. Really lean in on the characters that we don't have access to in the show. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember in the show there was one good actor. I can't remember his name for the life of me right now. He was one of my favorite actors at the time too, and I was excited to see. Oh yeah, he's totally going to be in the show. and then they killed him off. He was on Death Race. I don't remember what else he was on.
That's the race, boy. That's a deep dive right there.
Right, and I guess because I'm just picturing his character in that, but he was in a lot of better.
Ian McShane.
That's it, Ian McShane.
Yeah.
He has that like deep, like amazing voice.
Yeah.
And his character was, a nice guy and everything, but he didn't really go very far. It just kind of died off. And I think it was part of the Hound's.
Yeah, he's a very minor character in the books, though.
Okay, I wish they forget the characters, the actor that's so amazing. I wish they cast him better or write him into a better role. But yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah. Out of the journal that George R. R. Martin released this year, he stated that he got a lot of work done on Winds of Winter. He says he's written hundreds of pages over the last year. A lot of that's due to isolation and just kind of cooped in at the house, which is good. Stay home and do your job, Martin. But that's because he's always going to conventions and living his life. Come on, dude. I know you're rich and famous now, but just do your job. It's funny because this guy's made good money from HBO, but when you see his house, it's like a modest home in the middle of like an Arizona neighborhood. Like it's not that big of a deal. It's just funny that he's, But yeah, he's got a lot of work done. He says he still has a couple hundred more pages to go, but he feels like it'll be done in 2021. He says he doesn't want to make any promises because, in a quote from him, which I don't think I have here, as he doesn't want to make any promises because some assholes online will say he's got deadlines and stuff like that. And so he doesn't want to make any promises because he knows that people will make it a guaranteed thing. Daniel, have you watched much more of the Walking Dead? Not Walking Dead. Game of Thrones.
Oh my God.
How is your Walking Dead game going? No. Game of Thrones?
No, I have not. Like I said, I've seen that first 2 episodes and I didn't really like it. I need to give it a shot. Everybody loves it.
My challenge for you: finish season 1 without crying. And if you don't cry or fall in love with somebody or feel dedicated after that, then throw it all away. But if you could finish season 1 without feeling like you have to watch it all, then that's fine.
I raised the bet. Hold on, I raised the bet here. If Daniel could watch season 1 without crying, guys, and he has to be honest, and I think he will. If he can watch it without crying, I'll buy him a case of beer.
For me, honestly, like movies, sad movies, I don't really cry. I don't know why.
Bullshit.
And I'm one of those people that I like that main character, and if like season 1, I already know what happens.
Yeah.
If that main character of season 1 dies, now I'm gonna be like so disappointed and not want to watch the show anymore too. So that's why I'm like, I need to give it a shot, but I feel like I'm gonna be disappointed. And then I already heard the ending, so it's like even more disappointing. It's like, I wonder what's gonna happen at the end.
Oh, it's the journey though. It's so good. It's so worth the journey though. I'll
What
still
if we
buy
tell
you
you
finish
somebody-
season 1. I'll still buy you the case of beer.
What if we tell you somebody dies, but he also lives on in many different ways?
Oh shit!
I think the only part that I kind of want to see is when like Jon Snow, I think, fights the undead.
Yeah, that is a really badass episode.
That's pretty much all I really want to see.
So
It's
good.
kind of like Lord of the Rings in a way.
Yeah, that's a good comparison too. Like, that particular scene is very Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
Episode. Okay, so let's get into this next thing here, guys. There's another new Batman podcast coming. This is called Batman: The Audio Adventures. It will be a comedic, that means comedy, audio drama, which is so weird, being made by HBO Max. Jeffrey Wright, the freaking legend, will be voicing the Dark Knight. Jeffrey Wright, for you guys who don't know, he is the guy from Westworld. That makes sense to you. He's the one that has that like makes the robots in Westworld. Okay. He's also from Hunger Games season 2 or episode 2 or movie 2. So really cool to see him in there. He's also playing Commissioner Gordon in the new Batman, which is coming up. This is not the only Batman audio drama that's coming. We have Spotify that's making Batman Unburied. We announced that. We already talked about that back in 2020 when it was announced. So my question for you guys here is, who else could play Batman? Because now this is important. It's not like visuals. It's just that silky voice. Daniel, what do you got, man?
You guys gonna laugh, but I was thinking Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
I'm not gonna laugh because that's a great choice.
I think I like his voice.
Yeah,
and he has that. Like he's already been a good guy. I've seen him play as good guys and bad guys, and just like tone of voice. Like I feel like he could do a good voiceover for Batman. And then he's already been used in Marvel but
Okay,
well,
sorry.
his name is Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Brolin. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe he could
Thanos.
be. Yeah, it's Thanos, and then he played in Deadpool.
Oh yeah. He's what is he? Cable and Deadpool? Yeah.
Yeah, Cable. He was Cable. So I don't know. I was thinking maybe those two possibly play.
He has. I never thought about him for Batman, but even in like live action Batman, he would probably be a pretty good one, huh? That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
And then with Jeffrey D. Morgan, I really love him, of course, and he plays Batman's dad in the newer Batman movies, which in the Flashpoint story does make him Batman. That would be really cool too to have his voice in there. He's just got such a distinct voice because I think that's part of it is that distinct voice. Just like when they have an actor, whenever they cast Superman, they always go with a no-name actor. Whenever they cast a Batman, they always go for somebody famous because that person has to be hiding underneath the cowl for most of the time, so you want something to pop out. So yeah, I really like that Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Jonathan, do you have any choices there?
I do. You guys are probably gonna laugh at this one, but I love his very demanding voice, like you said, very iconic voice of Liam Neeson.
It's so.
I know he hasn't played this specific kind of character before,
and he has an accent. He's not American,
but he acts with an American voice sometimes too. Though.
Okay, yeah,
but yeah, I mean, who says Batman doesn't have to couldn't have an accent too?
Well, that I have a specific set of skills thing is actually very Batman. Now I'm thinking about
it. Yeah. Just that strong, demanding voice, that'd be amazing.
That's a good one. Anybody else?
No, that's it for me. Who you got?
Well, I'm a little disappointed because none of you guys said me, and I thought, like, here we go. I'm Batman. That was for the people of the podcast. You guys heard how good that was.
Damn, that's good.
I
am fill that up. Save that as a what do you call it? Application.
Robin, let's go. I mean, it's just it's pretty great. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, not even joking around, but Will Arnett has that deep, raspy voice.
Will Arnett has played Batman in the Lego movies.
Oh,
he's Lego
right.
Batman.
Okay, yeah.
Which is a great Batman movie, by the way. For you guys have not seen that, that's actually a very good Batman movie. It's on my top list right there. It was hard because I really couldn't think of a name that I was like, yeah, but he's already played Batman, So I really had a hard time with that one, but there's a lot of good ones there. Okay, so what about his villains? Do you have anybody that might be? I just kind of shotgun this one real quick. Any DC villains or Batman villains you'd want to be done in an audio form, and who could play them? Daniel, you got any picks?
Yeah. So going back to Jeffrey D. Morgan, I was thinking he could play Two-Face also.
Okay, yeah, because he could kind of do that wild, personality too. Yeah, that's a good one.
And then I forget. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but it's Chloe Grace Moretz. She was in that superhero movie.
I swear, I thought you were going to say Supernatural right there. I was like, what's something else, Daniel? Damn it.
Kick-Ass. She was the girl from Kick-Ass.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking maybe she could play as Harley Quinn, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she would do really good as Harley Quinn, actually. That's a really good choice. I like that one. Jonathan, you got anything?
Oh, yeah. So I know we talked about this a few days ago, but if any of y'all out there know Ethan Phillips, the actor that played Neelix in Star Trek Voyager.
Who's
amazing actor, great character, but he is the only person. I just watching an episode, it just like sparked in my head his mannerisms, his characteristics, and stuff like that. Ethan Phillips, in his portrayal of Neelix, at least, could very well play Heath Ledger's version of Joker. Probably the only person out there I think could totally play Heath Ledger's Joker. It would take some work. I know. I don't think he has the range of Heath Ledger, unfortunately. But I think for that specific role, he would be well cast.
So out of left field, that one, but I'm down to watch it for sure. I'm buying tickets. For me, I want Morgan Freeman to play Mr. Freeze.
Ooh, Morgan Freeman, that's a good one.
Yeah, and Mr. Freeze usually had a lot of times they'll cast him with an accent, but that deep voice of Morgan Freeman, like if he's talking with sorrow about his wife, like, oh my god, because I actually want a movie like they did Joker about Mr. Freeze, because his story is so freaking good. He's actually a guy who's trying to do good, but he's going about it all wrong. And so it's just like, give somebody like Morgan Freeman that deep voice could really show like sorrow in it, that role, and then like flippant anger. Because if you guys remember him from Wanted, he's actually the spoiler for Wanted, I guess, but he's actually the bad guy in the end. And he has that like kill these motherfuckers. Like he does it so fast, and it's like, oh yes, yeah, it's awesome. So I would like to see him as Mr. Freeze.
See, I was thinking for Mr. Freeze, I was thinking Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Let me make sure. I keep seeing his eyebrow, but I'm not actually hearing him say anything. That's really weird.
Right? He commands that much power. He doesn't have to say anything. He just gives you that look and you freeze.
Yeah.
We need him in the MCU. How has he not been in the MCU yet? He's one of those guys that's just like, I don't know. They got to give him something big. Maybe he could be Nova. He's such a badass. He needs to be in the MCU already. All right. Next up, we have a Wakanda series coming to Disney Plus. And after WandaVision, I trust Disney on any Marvel TV series. I think they're killing it.
Take my money.
Right? They signed Ryan Coogler, who's the one that directed the first Black Panther, to a 5-year deal. Coogler is currently working on Black Panther 2, and that's coming out in 2022. Fingers crossed, I swear. The new deal is with Ryan Coogler's production company, Proximity Media. So what I'm asking you guys is, what kind of series can we get set in Wakanda? Let's get creative with it, okay? What kind of thing do you guys want? I'm going to give you mine first. I'd like to see a police drama in Wakanda. So I got 2 different ones. So that's my first one. A police drama in Wakanda where we're seeing like poachers coming in and then like hunting down poachers and taking them out and stuff like that. Be about the guys that like run the rhinos, maybe. Maybe they're like the police force. Mm-hmm. And so that you have them going around and just like they're busting out those shields. Because those shields, that cloak shield thing is awesome. So use that more and have them bring it like not a comedy, but kind of like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine where you have an ensemble cast. I think that would be a lot of fun in Wakanda. My other suggestion, and this is the one that take my money now kind of thing. A Game of Thrones set in Wakanda. Because you have the multiple factions all wanting the throne, and sadly, the throne's shaky right now. So have it to where you have the different families, different factions trying to gain the leadership of Wakanda, and you have shifting alliances and stuff like that. And I don't think you want to taint Shuri, because you kind of don't want to leave her. I think she's going to be the new Black Panther and everything like that. So, but still, oh man, you have so many options right there. It's just so cool, and then you could get really cool, unique factions that have way different attire and different because that one when you go when the family escapes and then you have that big gorilla leaning over the mountain. If you guys remember that scene, it just looks so unique. And you could just make a bunch of those, and I'm totally in. And that could be a high budget show.
So you could put that all 50 or 80 years in the past too, for when his dad was a young boy kind of thing.
How did you take a great idea and make it better, Jonathan? How'd that happen? That's great. Where the technology's turned down just a little bit. They're still advanced, but the technology's turned down a little bit.
Barely learning how to use it. It's just an energy source. It's not quite Stark Tech yet.
Actually, they could do the prequel right before they decide to found Wakanda too. Because there's that, in the beginning part of the first Black Panther movie, they talk about the founding of Wakanda where it was this big war thing all the time. Boom. That's good.
Or flashbacks, they're already divided in their factions and flashbacks to the war to show how they developed into where they're at kind of thing.
That'd be very good. What were you saying, Daniel?
The sister's supposed to technically become Black Panther, correct?
We don't know for sure. But in the comic book, she has taken the mantle before.
That's why I'm so I was thinking that pretty much the story will be going off her, that she decides to take over the throne after her brother passed away. And then it's just she's dealing with the other tribes and she's just dealing with all the drama, they're kind of building her up, trying to make her stronger as a leader. And then it builds her into a new movie. That's what I was kind of thinking. That's what I was kind of hoping for.
So you're talking about a series that would sit there and actually develop Shuri taking the mantle. Her. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's a solid one. That's kind of what we're getting with WandaVision, because I think at the end of this we're actually going to get the full Scarlet Witch. So it would be something like that, and I like that idea. Awesome. You have something there. Do you have any ideas there, John?
Yeah, I was kind of in the same mindset as you, action kind of cop drama thing, but I'd love it to look and feel a lot more like Crackdown, but in Wakanda. Because imagine the Black Panther isn't always there, and he's the only one that really has such a strong power amongst the people. Right. The regular police, just like you're saying, have the shields and stuff like that, but they have such a powerful technology. So imagine if he's off fighting with the Avengers or whatever, but they still need a presence to keep a balance in their society. So if they had, a person who takes advantage of his technology and makes himself a super soldier, tries to take over when he's gone, or works to keep a balance between the different factions and kind of plays a vigilante while Black Panther's out, kind of thing, or in his place.
That's a good idea. You can have like those ground level heroes that we get from like Daredevil, stuff like that, but set in Wakanda, basically.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
So, pretty cool.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna do it. We ever so often we do this. I'm gonna do this too. I'm gonna write these up and I'm gonna send them over to Marvel and Disney. Nice. That way we can get some residuals when they take one of these ideas, because I know it's a matter of time. So, Kugler, you're welcome. All right, next up, Willem Dafoe was seen on the set of Spider-Man 3. This means the Green Goblin is back from the Tobey Maguire films. Here's the tricky part, okay? He died in the first one, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because he's not around in there in the second one. And we know that... What's that?
I said in that universe.
In that universe, true. And we know that Doc Ock is coming around. So we have Doc Ock from the second movie. Not only do we have multiverse then, we may have time travel involved, because if they're pulling that Green Lantern out and the Doc Ock from the second movie out as Doc Ock, that's 2 different time periods. We might have time travel involved. What do you guys think? Is that what's going on?
Well, I think in each universe, it could have, they could have the same people in a different outcome in a different universe, right? So it could be another universe where Spider-Man didn't come to be, and Green Goblin and Doc Ock work together to expand their, companies or whatever are big and powerful, or something like that. So I think there's a chance that there's an alternate reality. Like I think there's a Superman version where he didn't land in Daly City, or near Daly City, whatever, and Oscorp became not Oscorp. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyways,
you talking about with the Red Sun where he lands in Russia?
Yeah. Anyway, so it could be something like that where they're big and powerful, and now. So I'm hoping, not to jump ahead and stuff like that, but I'm hoping that we get to see Spider-Man and the multiverse, not from he develops a technology to go through the multiverse and stuff like that, but he gets pulled in from. And also I didn't watch the movie, so don't hate me.
You haven't watched
I know the best Spider-Man movie yet. I know.
Oh my god, guys.
But to not be the main Spider-Man would be kind of cool, right? Like if he is just one of the, odd, not so significant Spider-Mans, and the leader Spider-Man comes and pulls him in, like, hey, we need you to come join us and fight so and so, and he's got like three other villains just came into his universe, so they all go together to fight him and pull him back through the portal, or whatever, back to wherever they're all fighting. But that'd be kind of cool, not to be not following the main hero kind of thing.
It's funny you bring that up. That's actually what Daniel was talking to me about. Is our Spider-Man not being the main Spider-Man, right, Daniel?
Yeah, pretty much. He wouldn't be the main Spider-Man. That well, I had like some weird ideas.
Break it down, man. Break it down. We're right here.
So, is there any way that Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch could do like a time travel, like go into the can Scarlet Witch do anything that could take you back?
No, but Doctor Strange can take both of them back. Like we've seen through Endgame, basically anybody can time travel as long as you have the right tools for it. That can happen, yeah.
Oh, okay. And is it possible that they're doing this whole multi-universe so that they could bring back and make more movies of like the Amazing Spider-Man or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man?
I don't want any more. I hope not. I don't want any more Amazing Spider-Mans, to be honest with you.
You didn't like Amazing Spider-Man? I actually enjoyed it.
Those are garbage movies.
I liked it.
Back then, the standards were a lot lower, though, right?
There we go. Let's go with that. They're back with, like I was. So we did the audiobook for Days of Future Past. We're going to talk about that later on. And then I watched the movie as well, because I was like, well, let me compare it to the movie a lot and stuff. And just watching those old movies, like, man, I cannot wait for X-Men to be handled by Marvel, because they will do better than this. There's so many things where it's just like, that's some cheesy ass CGI right there. It kind of reminds me of that. That's what Amazing Spider-Man reminds me of. But if you liked it, yeah, we could probably get more of it. It's not like Garfield's working right now, so just give him something to do.
So, like right now, like I'm thinking, why are they gonna get together to fight? Who? Yeah. Like John was saying, like, are they teaming up? Because 2 brilliant scientists created something in one of the universes.
Yeah,
That's why they're doing it.
It could be a threat that's bigger than because. So what's probably going to happen is we're going to get the formation of Sinister Six, right? That's the idea, and that's why we've kind of been getting that tease since Homecoming, and so it has to be a threat that's so big that brings the need for multiple Spider-Man. So we could have a Doctor Strange where he's seeing that Spider-Man's outnumbered and he helps out by bringing more people in or whatever happens. But the idea that like we have Green Lantern on set now from a different time, and Jonathan, you have a right point there, where he might not necessarily be the exact Green Lantern that we know and has died. He could be from another multiverse and just be playing Green Lantern again. I'm down for that. Willem Dafoe's excellent. But yeah, whomever is in charge, what comes out of this will be the Sinister Six. It just happens that our Spider-Man is in a world where a lot of Sinister Six is being set up already. So I do like the idea of Doctor Strange being the one that gets them all together. I can't really think of another reason, in the MCU, another person that would be doing that anyways. Ant-Man can, but, it's just Ant-Man. It's not like it really...
And then with the current Spider-Man, his situation, everybody knows who he is. So is he going to their world or are they coming to his world? Like, what's going on? Like, is everybody just after Peter Parker? Is that why he's trying to grab the other Spider-Mans? Like, that's why I was like, there's so many possibilities.
Right. Yeah, they could do something along the lines of like, hey, here's Peter Parker standing on stage or on the camera, and then here comes the Amazing Spider-Man that walks in like, look, they're two different guys. Look, web slinger, stuff like that to kind of really throw things off and really mess them up. So that's up there too. Which we could go on this forever, but now I'm also thinking like, so was Tobey Maguire, like, is he also in in our Spider-Man's universe, just like walking around like, oh yeah, I'm just like a doctor now. That's the thing. Yeah. And so if they're like, let's do that ploy, let's take off the Spider-Man. Oh, look, I'm not really, Tom Holland. But then like the guy that's a doctor in his office is like, oh shit, everybody thinks I'm Spider-Man now. Something like that. So I don't know. There's a lot of fun stuff. I love multiverse stuff. It's always a blast.
Could it be when Tobey Maguire became Venom? Like, could they have used that part?
Well, yeah. When he gets to some, yeah. They could use that part. Yeah, but I hope not. But that could be.
I hope. I hope something. I hope this movie be fucking good.
I hope so.
Also, is Spider-Man still full? Is it still owned by Sony? Is there still that tug of war between Sony and Marvel?
There is. They're joint together on this. So this might all lead to. This might all lead to the joining of Venom and Tom Holland.
Ooh.
We might get that because after this movie, that partnership is done. They might extend it, but currently after this, Disney and Sony are not sharing Spider-Man anymore. I cannot imagine it not getting extended though, because Spider-Man is way too important for the Marvel universe.
To me, I would prefer that. I mean, movies would still have to go on because, like you're saying, it expands the Marvel universe so much. But I think this would be better played out in a series. Like, you could easily do like all these different DC series. You can easily cast and recast your Spider-Man character with whatever actor you want to play him as, and bring in different versions with different actors. And it seems like an easy thing to do, like the Arrowverse kind of story with the Spider-Man, the multiverse. So I don't know. Seems like a good opportunity, missed opportunity.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Either way, I'm excited for it. Tom Holland already said this is the most ambitious solo movie yet of any superhero. That's exciting to hear. A little worrisome. You guys got to be able to land it still, but it's exciting to hear. And I trust Marvel. They haven't really made a movie that I haven't liked. I mean, I like some more than others, but I think it's gonna be. Next up, we have Stadia is closing their game studio. Google says they're going to be focusing on the streaming platform itself. Stadia has struggled to take off with competing with the new consoles. That came out last year. And then even before then, we have Microsoft xCloud and PlayStation Now that are doing very similar things. Unfortunately, the bad side effect of this really is that that's over 150 developers that are losing their job, including the head, Jade Raymond, who recently joined the company back in 2019. He's best known for co-creating Assassin's Creed, really great series. Well, a very successful series. There's some duds in there. Let's not admit. I'm looking at you, Unity. But anyways, does this mean the end of Stadia? Like, is this kind of just a sign of what's to come? Jonathan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It's sad because remember when we first talked about Stadia when it was first in development or about to be released, and it's like, man, this is groundbreaking. This is a revolutionary concept that you'd be able to play all the games you like, just streaming them straight from a
Yeah.
console or from TV, from
Blew
a
her
small
mind.
device. It's just a whole new thing. I think maybe it was just kind of ahead of its time as jumping the shark. It's not in track with the way everything is played now, and it was just too much at once or something like that. It might be MySpace. In 5-10 years there might be a new version by somebody else that comes out that just totally gets traction like Facebook did, kind of thing. And this would have been just a teaser at the concept, or maybe it needs retooling and redevelopment or something. But
Well, you bring up a good point though with the MySpace, because that might be what this is remembered as a thing of the past that helped bring in the idea for the future.
mm-hmm.
Like, if it wasn't for MySpace, people probably wouldn't have a thing to compare Facebook to. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, it's like MySpace, but it's like this. Because MySpace turned, like, the fans from MySpace moved over to Facebook, just like the rest of us did. And that might be the thing, like, oh yeah, try out this new Wampati look, whatever. It's like Stadia, but it does everything better and stuff like that. So this might be the thing that marked a revolution.
Yeah, maybe Stadia is missing. I didn't use it. Maybe it's missing in some big ways or something like that. So it might be like DVD Now and stuff like that. Redbox back in the day. Netflix was doing the same thing, mailing it straight to your door. But now Netflix is huge because they knew how to step forward into the next generation as well. Which I don't. Maybe Stadia is missing something big like that. But
and I think the thing that Stadia is missing is the library. It's just not enough games on there to like play whatever you want. They have added quite a bit. There are some solid games on there, but it's just it doesn't have. It's when it's competing against Microsoft, for example. Microsoft has a huge library from 3 console generations and then some PC games. Fantastic library. PlayStation now, has more exclusives that people want to play than anything else. So it really has a lot of hard competition out there. And then there's some things like Streamlink and stuff like that has basically every PC game you could want. So I think that was really behind them getting hit hard at the launch. Daniel, what do you think? Do you think this is the end of Stadia? And also, what could Google do to change things and make Stadia survive?
I definitely think it's pretty much done. Stadia is done. There's too many competitors. Like, you got Steam, just like you said, Microsoft. But to change it, honestly, I think they like pretty much invent something different. Streaming, if you don't have all the games that everybody wants to play, it's not gonna draw people in. So maybe make like a Switch system, like
Some
I've
sort of
been
handheld.
saying. Yeah, make a handheld, nice 1080 or 1440 screen, like, make it better than Nvidia.
They
Don't
already have
make
the
it
Android
like,
operating system. It would be very easy to adapt that for a
yeah,
console. Yeah.
yeah, they definitely could do it. And yeah, just actually put time into it and put games into it. Yeah, I get a lot of games to get people to draw in, but especially, streaming, like, I never got the Steam. I don't think I need one of those.
Yeah, seemed like
Yeah.
And another thing too that's hurting things right now, especially here in the US, there are some areas that just simply do not have fast enough internet for this. So until that's a norm, until everybody's on the same page with that, which Google's working hard actually on that, until that's a norm, it will be really hard for everybody to be universally switched over to a streaming platform. That's why some things still have dumb disk trays, because that's just how they have to play. And we'll have to see if that's going to change anytime soon. I don't think it will be.
Well, yeah, the whole internet thing is kind of hard too. Not having internet. If it came with internet itself, that's portable. That would come with the device.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So you could stream it.
Yes, if it has its own cellular system, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't it like Elon Musk? Didn't he send up a bunch of satellites? Now he offers, or they offer, some kind of satellite internet system to.
Well, I know Google's doing the balloons that do something similar to that. I know Google's setting something up like that. Yeah. And Elon Musk might have. It sounds something like up his alley, but I haven't heard anything on that one.
I'm sure. I think I saw a YouTube video of someone demonstrating it's a little remote satellite thing you set up like on your back porch or whatever, and it gives you huge, a minimum 100 megabytes per second internet.
Oh, God.
And it takes nothing. It like tunes into itself to find the satellite it's supposed to connect to. It's a little.
You find that video again and you send it to me, okay?
Okay, I'll find it.
That's pretty amazing. That is pretty cool. Could you imagine that fast internet where you're camping? Never mind. Oh my God, I'm so dumb. I said, imagine that internet where you're camping. The idea is to escape everything and not sit there and be playing games all day while you're camping. Oh my God. I need to get out of this house, guys. Come on,
You
COVID.
remember what we used to do when we were camping, playing on your original Xbox.
Oh man, that we used to wear out those batteries on the Game Boy Advance when we're camping, man. Those good old days. All right, last bit of news that we're going to be talking about. Oh no, we have one more after this, but it's a short one. The Blizzard investors call. So these investors calls have kind of become like small little Comic Cons where they have announcements and stuff like that. They are definitely leaning more on the business aspect of things. The Blizzard one, we have a few little tidbits we can take from it. So let's discuss these real quick. World of Warcraft has performed better in the fourth quarter of 2020 than it has in decades. This is due to WoW Classic doing well, Shadowlands releasing and bringing back a lot of people after the lackluster BFA. And then we have what they call high participation and value added services. This means your different services and in shop like mounts and stuff like that. But WoW's been doing better than it has in a long time. Daniel, you're playing WoW. Do you feel like the population is stronger now than it has been in a long time?
Definitely. It's right now. Population's pretty huge. Like even my old server Nuzul was on medium population.
Oh wow, that's
now
huge
it's
for
like,
them.
yeah, when last expansion it was about medium.
Oh, was it?
Now
okay.
it's yeah. It was like it was low, and then it went to medium.
Okay.
I think people were kind of
Pick it up. Pick it up.
Yeah. And then now it's at high.
Wow.
It was at high last time I seen it.
Okay.
So it definitely a lot of people are coming back to the game. And honestly, playing it, it's been amazing.
Yeah, really good expansion so far. If it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
for the fact that like circumstances made it to where I couldn't be mythic rating this patch, I would be on it a lot more right now. It's just really well designed and beautiful worlds too. They did a good job with the services.
Raid, world, everything's so beautiful. The music. This is the first time I actually listened to the music.
Really?
It's
wow.
been yeah. I usually just mute and just watch TV while I'm playing video games or something like that. But this expansion, I've been listening to music and I've been having so much fun with classes. I think everybody's just enjoying their classes.
Yeah, they've been really doing a good job with that. Okay, so here's the next bit we have here. They're talking about having World of Warcraft on multiple devices or multiple platforms, anyways. This is coming out of the mobile app team. So could we get World of Warcraft on consoles or on the phone? Dan, I'm going to go back to you on this one. Could you imagine playing World of Warcraft on your phone?
Phone. I mean, if you want to do like small things, like if you're just farming, little things like that, yeah, I could see it. Like, let's say if I go to Disneyland or something like that, at the hotel room, like, oh, let me check my auction house or like
Auction housing for sure.
yeah, doing some farming. Like, you don't really need to do too much. Like, be able to move and then just do a couple auto attacks if you get a fire or whatever. But I mean, I could kind of see it on the phone, definitely on console. I've seen multiple MMOs go to console, and it still worked out
Neverwinter's a good
fine.
one. Yeah. So here's a little side thing then. Should the people who play on console be forced to be on a different server than those who play on PC?
Oh.
Got you thinking, didn't I? Because my thing is, those who on the console, I mean, you're just gonna have an advantage over those on the PC. There's no, or I mean, I'm sorry, PC will have the advantage over console.
Yeah.
You have macros and everything like that. You can go much faster. Weak cores that you can install. I can't imagine PC not having a vast advantage over you. Doesn't mean you can't have fun on the consoles. It's actually just, it's funny that last, expansion release, they added in console support or controller support. Can't say words today, I guess. But I think that they should be put on different servers just so that people don't feel like they're getting blown out of the water by somebody who has a mouse and keyboard. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, I feel like they should be able to choose what they do.
Okay, let me put it this way then. You queue for a dungeon and a tank joins you. And that tank is on a controller. Do you trust them as much as another tank that's got keyboard and mouse? The answer should be no pretty fast.
For me, it's like, I mean, people get really good at certain situations. I mean,
I'm impressed by this response.
Like shooters are the same thing. Like, there's people that smoke me, and mouse and keyboard is supposed to dominate, but he just smoked me on a PlayStation 4 controller. That. So, yeah. So, I wouldn't care. I mean, I already get shit lobbies anyways. Shit dungeons. I just lost the key today anyways. So, I wouldn't care. I think they could.
Damn.
People that play on console could get better and then perform not as good as us because it's gonna take longer to hit abilities and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I think they could still get decent enough to play.
As a WoW fan, as a WoW player, I would be upset. I would be very vocal about that too. But I think we'll have to see. We'll have to see what comes of this. It was
Yeah.
an interesting comment that they made towards the end of their presentation for WoW. And again, we're gonna know more later on here, just in this month actually. Next thing up is Diablo Immortal, currently in regional testing. So that's the mobile game for Diablo, which kind of had a rough launch or rough announcement. But yeah, so if it's and they're planning on it launching this year, which would be cool. I will definitely be playing it. I played it at BlizzCon and I enjoyed it. Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 are likely coming in next year, 2022. This is because they said 2022 will be a huge year for Blizzard. So we'll have a couple of patches that like expansion patches that year, plus new games. Um, Jonathan, are you willing to play Overwatch right now, or are you kind of? I know Squeaks is saying he's waiting. Are you waiting for Overwatch 2?
No, every once in a while I get into Overwatch just to kind of knock off the dust. I'm still not very good, but I want to keep getting practice at it and stay fresh. I am excited for Overwatch 2, but that doesn't mean I don't still like Overwatch 1. It's
Right.
still a good game. So yeah, I still like to play it every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm kind of at the point where I'm just like so frustrated that Overwatch 2 is not out now that I get like, I don't want to play Overwatch 1. I want to wait till 2. But if it's not coming out until next year, it's not like I'm not gonna play Overwatch for a year. That's just crazy. So I might still play. I'm just so excited for Overwatch 2 because I think the PvE content is gonna be revolutionary once people get their hands on it. Where like, hey man, let's all work together and play against or do a mission together. Like that's just so fun, and you get to play these characters that you really like. So we'll have to see. They also announced that they have multiple remaster projects in the work. Everybody's excited for the rumored Diablo 2 remaster. I myself never played Diablo 2. Daniel, have you played Diablo 2?
I did play it. Didn't really get too far into
Didn't get
it.
too far. Okay. Hopefully it's good. I know that there's a lot of fans that would return for it. It's a pretty big game. And then they also said they're going to be hiring more developers for upcoming projects. They've recently laid off a lot of people in 2020, which that's reasonable. But even in 2029, they actually in 2020 they closed down the France office, something like that. So hopefully they kind of bring back some of the developers there to laid off. That would probably be best, not only for their PR, but just to be a good company. We will be doing an all-day live stream on the 19th and the 20th of this month during BlizzCon Online. That is the BlizzCon that we missed out in 2020. They pushed it back to an online event this month. So you guys please join us. We will also be having reaction podcasts at the end of each day where we get together and we're like, did you see that announcement about the new whatever the heck? So join us. That'll be a lot of fun. What announcements do you want to see out of just one? Pick one of your favorite that you want to see out of this year's BlizzCon. Daniel, you first.
What?
What do you want them to announce?
I'm hoping.
For you're hoping for.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Not that you, unless you know somebody at Blizzard that's giving you the announcements early, drop that one on us. I'll take that one from you if you've got it right now.
Okay, so what I'm honestly hoping for is an actual WoW movie, a second movie.
Oh, dude, you'd kill me if you got that. Oh my god, yeah.
Dude,
good choice.
I want to see another movie. The first movie was good. It wasn't too exciting. It was kind of boring, but it was building the whole story.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I think. I mean, it was a good effort. We'll give them that. It was at least a good effort.
Yeah, it was really. I think they did a good job, but I know people weren't happy with the story because it was just like boring in a way. I honestly, if they make a movie and just Wrath of the Lich King, boom.
That's how you nail it, dude. That's how you just get a slam dunk.
Yeah, slam dunk. I want to see that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for.
Good one. Myself, it's pretty much just an easy win. They're going to be announcing Burning Crusade Classic. I want them to announce Wrath Classic as well. If they announce both at the same time, ooh, they got my money so freaking fast.
They won't though.
I know they'll save it. It's smart for them to save it, but man, I'd be so hyped.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play Burning Crusade Classic?
I don't know.
I know I will.
It depends. Because like, do you start all over again and level?
We don't know. They actually put out a survey in early 2020 asking people which would you prefer, and then they were kind of like workshopping that. So they've been polling the actual fan base on which way they would want to go. Yeah.
I kind of wish they could just grab your old character, skin your character, and bring him.
Yeah, make a copy. Yeah, that'd be cool. Jonathan, we gotta figure out your camera, dude. It keeps flashing green on us.
Yeah, I don't know. I got some interference. Maybe it's just a cheap camera.
Probably is. Oh my god. Guys, hey, remember audibletrial.com/geekfix. Let's upgrade that camera for Jonathan. Jonathan, what do you want out of BlizzCon?
I was thinking this probably sounds really dumb to you guys. I know Blizzard announced a while back that they're focusing more on the mobile, which pissed everybody off. Mm-hmm. I mean, real gamers don't care for mobile gaming, and mobile gamers don't know what gaming is. But as you guys know, I don't have the time to dedicate, 4 or 6 hours a day to play World of Warcraft anymore, unfortunately. Unless my wife leaves me and takes a new baby with her or something like that. That's probably not going to change soon. So what I was thinking would be kind of cool. One game I really liked a while back was Pokemon Go with the geocache system and everything.
Yeah.
Go to different locations. If Blizzard announced a World of Warcraft version of that with the geolocation stuff, and you have to go certain places, do certain missions, collect so many whatevers and stuff like that, I would totally play that. Can't do a full WoW where I got to spend 6 hours a day or something like that, but something like that would be kind of cool.
That kind of sounds familiar. I think it might have been the pet battle system, but I would like that because then you hey guys, we got to go to the Rayleigh's or the nearby grocery store. That's less regional. Got to go to the nearby grocery store to pick up a quest, and then hey guys, let's meet up at the theater. Let's go do a dungeon together at the theaters. Like that'd be really fun.
It'd be cool if it's a standalone game, but it'd also be cool if your credits and stuff you get in the game help with WoW with your your full game. So you tell all your guildies like, hey, you guys need to go get your potions before we raid tomorrow. So they all actually have to go to the nearby library. Oh crap! I need to get that spell, and I got to go to these 3 different parks to pick up the different ingredients, and make my potions, so I can have it ready for the raid tonight.
I have played. Okay, I'm not saying this out of school. I have played pretty intense versions of WoW. Mm-hmm. The 2 kinds of things that don't meet up well is Mythic Raiders and going outside to do walking. Those 2 don't meet up well. They don't have the time for that. So I would love to see that. Hey, if you're gonna be a Mythic Raider, man, you at least got to do 1.5 miles. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. You will have revolt in the streets. It won't work.
Right. They're gonna use gold. Pay Jimmy's membership, so Jimmy goes and takes their phone down to the corner and back and forth. Oh, hey kid, hop on your bike, go to the park.
Yeah, I pay $15 to WoW each month, and I pay another $50 to the neighborhood kid so they can do a couple blocks for me each day. Oh my god. All right, next thing here, the last bit we're going to be talking about news-wise is GameStop Shorts. They're going to make 2 movies, 2 series for it. The only movie that we have some details on is the Netflix version. They're working on one that has Noah Centineo. I know I'm saying that wrong, but it sounds cool, as the main character. The writer from The Hurt Locker, Mark Bowl, is expected to be the writer for this film. My question for you guys, and this is, I think this is a no-brainer in my opinion, but they could mess us up. Do you think they'll be siding with the Reddit side or the hedge fund side? Jonathan, you go first.
I think I don't really know, the super deep details of how that all went down. I just know what I heard on social media. But I would assume they would go with the Reddit side because from what I heard, that's kind of the people's side.
Right.
The guys on Reddit are the ones that are trying to, get one over on the billionaires. And so I think if you're making a show or movie for the general population to enjoy, I mean, that would kind of be the way to go. I don't know.
Yeah, because, I mean, you could make the movie about the other end, and it would have to be about, this group of reckless kids that are trying to ruin the market, and these people are trying to save the market from crashing.
Like the Wolf of Wall Street kind of thing?
Well, no, but that's the thing is the Wolf of Wall Street, I think, is closer, well, I don't know, It's tough because it would be a lot funner. Like, the kid that they got for this is a young guy. So it's easy for him to portray a random Redditor that's, getting on board and stuff like that and kind of joining in the craze. And the smart move, in my opinion, is to decide it from the Reddit side, because then it is like the little man sticking up to the big guy. But it's Netflix who is the big guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like these big corporations that are making these films. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It could go either way. It's a lot of projects already in the work for something that's pretty simple and doesn't have a satisfying end, in my opinion. Like, okay, yeah, what do you think?
Go ahead, John. Sorry.
Well, is it going to be a documentary, or is it
it's
just
a movie?
It's
a movie, and then the series is going to be a series. one of these could be a documentary, but as far as we know, there are stories being told about the situation.
Okay, because I know Netflix does a lot of like little docuseries and quick documentaries.
They should be pretty good too.
I could definitely see it like a documentary on this, but when I heard there was gonna be like a movie, I was just like, "Really, guys?" It was big. It was huge.
Yeah, it was fun too. Yeah, to watch.
And pretty much how Robin Hood screwed us all. But I can't see watching a movie about this. I mean, I just experienced it, so
yeah,
no point of me going to watch a movie.
The turnaround is real quick on this one. I mean, it is like right away. They're out there like, hey, let's make money on this.
Yeah, well, there's probably a lot of people that don't know the finer details. Like, you know, I'm saying I don't really understand how it all worked out. So hopefully they kind of get into that too and explain. I mean, not how to deal in stocks and stuff like that, but how the people from Reddit were able to kind of manipulate it to get over on the other guys that were trying to abuse it, kind of thing.
But that's a really good thing too. There's just let's think about the Robinhood app. Daniel just said that they screwed him over, and they screwed me over too because they blocked me. Blah 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 blah. The whole thing. They messed up a lot of people, and yet it was the tool that we were using to participate in the first place. If Netflix, and I don't know who owns what, but if Netflix has any shares or any part of Robinhood or Robinhood's parent company, and vice versa, they may not want to make Robinhood out to look like a bad guy in all this. And yet, for a lot of the participators, Robinhood is facing lawsuits and stuff like that for their actions during the squeeze. So, will they make that part look bad or good? You know, it's amazing how the perception on this thing is. You're able to manipulate the perception either way on this one, and it's interesting. From our point of view, we're like, yeah, Robinhood cheated us, and yeah, the hedge fund managers got hit. Good, on both sides. But they might not want to necessarily throw Robinhood under the bus, or something like that. We'll have to see how it's taken.
I think they could tell they could tell majority of the story without mentioning Robinhood at all, because it's kind of a after the fact or a side effect of what was going on. No matter who is investing or not investing, the hedge fund and the Reddit guys all pushed the market up, kind of thing. So I think the Robinhood was just kind of what we saw on the sidelines, right?
Well, the Robinhood was definitely the app everybody was using. As like the majority, it was definitely the majority of the apps that everybody was using in trading on the Reddit side. And then when they stopped people, we saw the dip in the market. So it had a massive effect on the actual situation. But they could use a dummy name for everything. Like maybe they won't use Robinhood, but maybe they'll be like Sherwood, or whatever, like just some random name, Yeah. They could do that and play it safe, and that way they don't get any libel lawsuits on their hands. That's very true. Anyways, we'll see how it goes, and I'm sure I'll watch all of them and be upset.
You actually gonna watch them?
Of course I am. This is like watching an Avengers movie and like, oh yeah, I was in that diner that almost got hit by Thor's hammer.
Right.
All right, guys. Let's go to the main event. We're celebrating Black History Month this month, which is fantastic. So cool to see all the different things that Wednesday Pool is. If you guys aren't following them, really cool podcast friends of ours. They're posting a different Black superhero fun fact each day. And it's been really cool reading those and stuff like that. Some characters I didn't know about, because if you guys don't know, there's a shit ton of comic book characters out there, and I don't know about 98% of them apparently. So that's pretty cool. But we're going to be going over our top 5 favorite Black superheroes. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go from 5 to 1, and I know we kind of went over them a little bit beforehand to make sure that we're not all saying Black Panther number 1. But so we're going to go from 5 to 1 and name them and then say why they're our favorites or what we like about them, or kind of break them down for people who don't know who they are. Daniel, you're going to start us off, man. What is your number 5 for top 5 Black superheroes?
Number 5. Paige. I'm gonna go with Storm.
Nice.
Storm.
So Storm, she's badass mutant chick from pretty much the X-Men series. She's able to control weather and the atmosphere, which is pretty cool. She's pretty much like second in command, right? In the X-Men.
When Cyborg is not Cyborg. When Cyclops is gone.
Cyclops?
Yeah, when Cyclops is gone, she's in charge, basically. There's a part of it, Days of Future Past, where she's in charge.
I don't really have too much information, but pretty much she's just from X-Men, and she just helps and teaches other mutants and just protects pretty much everybody.
She's really cool.
Badass. Yeah, she is a badass character. Just love when her eyes like turn freaking, what is it, like white,
like almost like blue electricity. Yeah, it's almost like lightning in there. Yeah, she's really cool. Awesome.
So let me chime in on that too. Then I almost put her on my list. I didn't care for her Halle Berry portrayal in the newer movies that we've seen, but in the comics, she's a big deal. She's really cool. One thing that I was telling Frank earlier too is that I like how her powers seem very simple, right? I mean, she commands weather, like she can make it cloudy and stuff. But no, she actually has such a mastery of her abilities. Like in the audiobook we're listening to, she not only can like create weather, but she kind of commands the environment and nature around her more than just like bringing in rain and lightning. Like she can create like static coming from the ground and stuff like that, just from the barometric pressure or whatever. So it's kind of cool that she has, I mean, because she's like a level 5. She's up there with like Magneto, level, and the Phoenix, I guess, the highest level of powers in the X-Men. So she's a very powerful X-Men character.
God, I love the X-Men so much. After this audiobook that I don't think we'll stream it today, but we're gonna be recording it here in a little bit, and then it'll be a YouTube video for later on. Man, that book got me so freaking hyped for more X-Men. I'm just well, X-Men hyped out right now. That was a good one. Daniel. Let's kick us off with the storm. Jonathan, why don't you share your number 5?
All right, my number 5. So I of course I don't want to stick to the classic list of everything that's been on Marvel lately that everybody knows. I don't want to follow the bandwagon. So I did a little research, digging around, trying to figure out like who do I not really know about. It's a little underappreciated. So I found this comic series called Moon Girl. Have you guys ever heard of Moon Girl?
I haven't. No, break it down.
So she's pretty cool. She's a young black girl. She's like probably 7 or 8 years old. I didn't read issues. I read reviews and stories about her. But she has the ability to create portals into other dimensions. And so a big part of her character, she has this, like they call it a devil dinosaur, but she brings like a dinosaur from another dimension with her in her world, and he's
so freaking cool.
Is with her. But she's also like a genius, and she. Sorry, that wasn't a natural power. It was she created at like 7 years old, created technology to be able to open these portals into other dimensions and stuff like that. So she's
like a super advanced Spider-Man in that sense. Like he's the one that makes the web slinger. She's like even better than that.
Yeah, a brilliant, genius little girl that finds or develops technology to open portals and uses it to be a superhero. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, what was her name again?
Moon Girl.
Moon Girl. Check that out, guys. I'm gonna look into that. That's cool. Moon Girl. Okay. Is she from newer or is she an old school comic book character?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look up. So she was Marvel. I didn't look up when her comic was released. But you will know more about her soon because they are making an animated series about her soon. Yeah, it's in production.
That's gonna be good animated. That leans itself well because a 7-year-old learning technology. That leans itself well to an animated series. That's a good one. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, my number 5. I've always the team in general is really cool. Spectre, Jim Carrigan is his like human name, but Spectre. So the reason I love him so much is his origin story is so simple and badass. So he's this guy who is a police officer, and he's part of the Justice Society, which is one of my favorite teams and superhero teams. So, anyways, he's a cop, and like he's on his way home or whatever, and he gets mugged by a bunch of thugs, and he's killed. Okay, so I mean, story's done, right? No, on his way up or on his way to the afterlife, a voice is how it's pitched, but it could be God, it could be whoever you think. A voice tells him, "I need you to go back and rid the world of evil." And so now, and he returns, and now he's Spectre. He's like a spirit that is a superhero, and his job is just to clean house. And he's so cool. He's part of the Justice Society, which the Justice Society, what I love is like the characters are not developed that well. So, or not as deep as like, oh, Justice League, yeah, Batman, you know everything about Batman. But the Justice Society have really cool characters that all kind of have that turn of age, World War II. There's actually a new Justice Society movie coming up about World War II. Kind of era technology and stuff like that. And Spectre is one of those guys that's like, they're ace in the hole. Like, he is so he's like Thor for the Avengers. You know what I'm talking about? When it's like, oh no, things are dire, lightning strike, that kind of thing. He's just so freaking badass. And he's always looks really cool. He's kind of got kind of a simple but really cool outfit where it's like this hood and everything like that. He's really cool. Spectre's awesome. And what's cool is in the comic books, there's a part where I got visual aids for a lot of these. There's a part where Jim Kerrigan's like, okay, I've done my duty, and he goes up to heaven, and then the Spectre's loose for a bit, like just the spirit of Spectre's loose, and he's just like killing. He doesn't. He needs a human to kind of tell him like what level of sin is bad. Like it's like, oh, you stole candy. It's not like you need to die. But without the human in there, he kills people who steal candy. Like he just starts killing people who commits any sin. Oh, it's just crazy. So I've got visual aids, guys. This is Justice Society. He's actually not in this one particular, but it's my favorite cover. So Justice Society, check that out, guys. That's Spectre, really great character. All right, Daniel, go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. That whole story you told about Spectre makes me feel bad for Punisher. I imagine he's got to be looking at this guy's stories like, come on, bro, can you not bless me with some magic power too? Like, I'm over here cleaning house for you, and now I'm just going to burn in hell like because I wasn't approved on your A-list or something.
He's just got the power of guns.
Yeah, right?
Daniel, what's your number 4, man?
My number 4 is Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. All right, he's on my list too.
Is he?
Yeah, go for it though. Break him down. Why is your favorite?
Just that. So I like just like the, how do you say, superhuman strength kind of superheroes, and then he has unbreakable skin, so he can't really be killed. Yeah. The reason I like them too is he teams up. Well, he teams up with like Jessica Jones. He actually dated Jessica Jones
in the series.
Then,
yeah.
And then he joins like Defenders.
The Defenders
TV show with the Iron Fist. He's pretty much a criminal that I can't remember if it was like an explosion or an experiment, a failed experiment.
It was a prison experiment.
It was a prison experiment. Okay. And pretty much gets all these powers, and then he's pretty much living in a really bad part of New York, and pretty much decides to fight crime to help people out. And that's pretty much.
I'm gonna go with you because he's my number 4 as well. The Netflix series did a really kick-ass job with him. I mean, I thought that was perfect casting. And my favorite parts of him in the comic books is always when it was with him and Iron Fist teamed up. They were both, it was like later in their careers, they both teamed up. Those two together is really cool. The Heroes for Hire and all that stuff. He's also Power Man, because Luke Cage's like superhero name is Power Man, but they eventually just go with Luke Cage. That's a 76 comic book of his. Really, really cool. And then what I liked is in the 90s, comic book wise, I actually had a few of these ones, but this is number 1. They rebooted him again. That's Luke Cage from the 90s. And they put him in Chicago, and he's a Chicago hero. And what I like about him is he's like so ground level. And sometimes it's like, okay, yeah, it's cool that Thor is fighting Galactus, and we have all these super big things that, like the world's on the line. But it's also nice just to save the neighborhood, or something like that, to defeat Kingpin and stuff. And Luke Cage, he's just a badass and everything. He's like an action hero and a superhero. So it's just really, really cool. I like him all around, and his like moral compass is always like, he's just an awesome guy. I just really like him all in general. Jonathan, who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Black Lightning.
Nice.
I didn't know much about him. A couple months ago. I started watching the show on, is it CBS?
CW.
Yeah. So I just started watching that. I'm like halfway through the series. But he's really, really cool character. Like you're saying, moral compass and all that stuff. Like he's the kind of hero that doesn't want to use his powers because he sees how much pain it causes, in his family and in the world and stuff. But he's like, I was given these powers. I need to, use them for good, even if I have to sacrifice and I have to suffer in the process. There's a greater good out there that I have to fight for, kind of thing. He has amazing, electrical powers, and he's pretty bomb at using them. So I like to think of him because I know Daniel's got to have Static Shock somewhere on his list. I like to think of him as a grown-up version, like an older version of Static Shock.
Yeah.
But he kind of, he works a little differently though. Not so young, not so surfing on a metal disc kind of thing, but a little more grounded. But yeah, very cool and powerful character.
What I like about him, especially in the series, the fact that he's like a principal, and then he's also like a dad. He's kind of like, could you imagine if your principal was like, oh yeah, I'm also like the local superhero? Like, it's just so funny to think of him from the perspective of the people around him, and how unique that is, and just
And it's very realistic too, because you got to think like these superheroes. Until you're in like a JLA or something that's well organized and somehow funded,
has Wayne money behind it.
Yeah, you're not robbing banks. You're bringing the money back to the bank and saying, hey, Joker still stole this. Here it is. So yeah, you got to be funded somehow. You just got to have a day job, is what it is. You got to put your mask back on, or take your mask off and sleep maybe an hour when you get home from crime, and then go to work. And then after work, you go home, maybe take a quick nap and get dressed, and then you go out and fight crime all night long. So yeah, if you think about it, they kind of do have to, for the most part, still maintain, especially the lower end, heroes like Daredevil is still a lawyer, things like that. I mean, kind of, you gotta think about it practically. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That is a good pick. Daniel, why don't you give us your number 3?
Oh, sorry. My number 3 will be Blade.
Blade. Oh man, those movies are so good. Why is you Why is your number 3?
Because it's well, Blade. He's pretty much a vampire hunter, and he's also a vampire himself. His mother was bitten when he was at birth or whatever, and so he became a vampire hybrid human.
Daywalker.
And so pretty much he's just a badass character that pretty much murders vampires. That's why I fucking love all his movies. And I didn't really read the comic books, but I believe he helps a couple superheroes too. Don't know which one.
I know Squeaks read a lot of his stuff. That and Spawn are like his 2 favorites. Yeah, man, that is a good pick. When's the last time you've seen the movies? Because I haven't seen those in a bit. I need to rewatch those.
I'm ready for those to be remade.
They are remaking them. Yeah, they're doing that right now. Yeah.
3 years ago. But didn't they make a series? Didn't they make like a Blade series or something like that? But
no, I don't think so. The reboot is a movie with Mashallah. Shit, I can never remember his name. He's really cool though. He's from Alita. But yeah, it's gonna be good. It's really great casting. The movie was so cool, and it opened up like a whole new world of Marvel that I wasn't really familiar with. This whole vampire world and Morbius and all that stuff. I really didn't deal with those before, so it was cool seeing him through those eyes, through Blade's eyes. And I'm looking forward to the movie. That's good. Let's go with my number 3. Got more visual aids for these ones too. My number 3 is Steel. That's John Henry Irons. Okay, so let's get the elephant out of the room. If you guys remember the
Shaquille O'Neal
90s movie, that's the Steel. So when I was a kid, that movie was awesome, and I'm sure looking back now, it probably wouldn't be, but it was really awesome. But I actually liked him before then. I really liked him because of the reign of Superman storyline that he was in there for. So the reason I like him, so the reign of Superman story, if you guys aren't familiar, it's post Doomsday when Superman dies, and these 4 Supermen pop up and are going to be like replacing him, and that's where I got into him. That's my first like story arc that I got all the comic books for. And what I loved about John Henry Irons is he was the like heart and soul. Like each of them had a different aspect or whatever, but he was like the heart and soul of Superman. And it was just out there doing good and stuff like that. He was just such a badass character. And he had a big old hammer. And I actually liked the tall tale, the John Henry tall tale, where he's going against the machine and trying to, do the tracks faster. He had the big hammer, and it's a big metal suit. He's got a big metal suit that he made himself. So think of the origin story of him is that he worked with Lex Luthor building weapons, felt guilty, and became his own superhero. And he's inspired by Superman, the man that Lex Luthor was trying to take out. And because he knows technology and inventions, he uses like his hammer when he swings around his hammer. He has thrusters on it, like from behind. It'll make it swing harder. Boom, stuff like that. And he has thrusters everywhere. So he's like Superman, Iron Man, Batman rolled into one. And a lot of John Henry. He's just a really cool character. And I love that about Superman, like that heart and soul of him. And that's what John Henry cares for. Check out Superman, guys, whenever you can. This is the reign of the Superman. Really good story from the 90s that follows the Doomsday storyline. And then there's my Steel number 3. I can never find 1 and 2, but that's Steel number 3. But yeah, NBA Jam ad on the back. God, so old school. for the Sega Genesis. Anyways, so
for those of you listening on the podcast, Frank's holding up comic books while he talks.
Visual aids, guys. It's worth watching the stream for the visual aids factor.
Yes.
I'm not cutting that out either. The podcast people know they're missing out.
Right.
Jonathan, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Spawn from Image Comics. I know. I wish Squeaks was here because
Oh my
he's a
god.
big Spawn fan too.
He can show off his
He's
Spawn
much more of
tattoos
a
right
fan,
now. Yeah.
right? I'm sure he's more of a fan than I am. But I remember you having Spawn comic books when we were
Yeah.
kids and just wanting to see them because they're so like gnarly and stuff. But also the movie from the '90s was really good. But I like that he has his power was from hell, right? I mean,
Yeah.
from the devil.
From hell, yeah.
But yeah, but he's using his powers. He's enslaved by them
Mm-hmm.
at some point, right? But
He's
I think
enslaved by the, but yeah, but dude, that cloak. What do you think about that cloak of his?
oh yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I know the CGI cannot hold up from that '90s
It
movie, but
does not.
but I would love to see that redone. I mean, I can't imagine how cool that would look.
Jamie Foxx is working on it right now. That's Jamie Foxx is
Oh,
gonna be
man,
playing Spawn. Yeah.
that'd be good. I hope. I mean, I hope he does it right. But yeah, I mean, it's just a really cool character, really cool concept, and like you're saying, the cloak and like the spikes and in him that come out and all his tools and how he can change shape and all this. Just an awesome character.
I loved
Dude,
when it
that
wraps around the
movie.
bike in the movie. Remember that when it wrapped around his motorcycle and it just like made the motorcycle look like
Oh
edgy and
yeah,
'90s and awesome.
yeah. He turned it into Snowpiercer,
Yeah,
pretty
basically.
much. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good one.
That movie scared the crap out of me when I was a little
Did
kid.
it?
Like, I would watch
It's a
it, and it
silent good
just
movie.
scared the shit out of me that I couldn't even finish the movie because it was just so fucking scary.
Oh, that's great. All right, let's move on to our number twos. Daniel, what's your number two?
Uh, Might have to say, Black Panther.
Black Panther. That's my number two as well. We got
Is
a
it?
great minds think alike.
You wanna go first?
All right, Black Panther, aka T'Challa. Steel is my last one that like became my favorite because of his comic books. These two are my favorites because we all know why. So, but then my next two, Black Panther in the movies. I mean, it blew me away how good that was. And I was like, oh yeah, I know he's part of the Avengers, and I remember, I remember when he joined the Avengers was kind of like he was protecting Wakanda, and so he was trying to figure out what's going on with it. He was trying to get the vibranium stuff. But man, in the movies, it blew me away how good that was. And Chadwick Boseman, of course, just portrayed him so well, and he's got this thing that like Doom has as well that I really really appreciate. Is not only are they superheroes, but they're also leaders of their country. So he's protecting not just his people, like he's actually protecting his people and his country, and not so in a big way. So it's kind of the opposite of what we're saying with like Luke Cage and stuff, where they're ground level heroes. These guys have to worry about an entire nation and their people. So that's really cool. And he comes with Wakanda. Wakanda is this new world that's so big. Matter of fact, speaking again about the audiobook, I don't know if you remember this, Jonathan, at the end of the audiobook for Days of Future Past, they're like, well, maybe Wakanda or Europe will send help. And it's just kind of cool. Just like, oh, Wakanda.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Did they know?
Yeah.
And then Wakanda was made from 4 of the nations, right? 4 of the
4 or 5, yeah, multiple.
Because I think the 5th one is the faction that doesn't want to join them. They're older style, older tech or whatever.
Yeah, from the mountains, I think.
Yeah.
But it's so good. You got any more on that, Daniel?
I just honestly, I didn't read the comic book, but it was in some of the cartoons, so I'd see Black Panther. But the movies were honestly beautiful. Like, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
The technology that they used in it, just love the what are they? They weren't boars, like dinosaurs.
The rhinos.
Oh, rhinos.
The rhinos, yeah, they were rhinos with like.
I like the boars and dinos makes a rhino. I like it. No, you're right though. And Infinity War too, when they had that big battle in Infinity War outside of Wakanda, that was really cool as well.
Yeah. Honestly, like they did a really good job. I didn't know Black Panther was that good of a story.
It really turned me on to him as well. Yeah, it made me more interested in I gotta check it out. Check out some of his books, get into a new storyline because man, that was something else. And in glancing, I mean, I know about the Shuri thing, and I know about how him and Storm were together for a long time. And these are things from just Marvelverse basically, but I haven't really read a lot of his books, and I need to because man, those movies they shook me. They were so good.
Because he was in I think Static Shock, I believe.
Oh, was he? No, they can't be.
No,
They're
no,
DC
no,
and Marvel.
mind. I'm thinking of I already forgot his name. Ah,
Somebody else was ecstatic.
John, fire away.
All right, my number 2 is Jon Stewart's Green Lantern, or Jon Stewart as Green Lantern.
So good.
That's another one where I actually have a stack of the comics. I went to one of the conventions I was at. I found some, and I was like, "Oh man, finally, I'm gonna buy them all." I bought like I don't know 13 or something like that, 14 of them. But it isn't the complete set, and I don't have like the first 4, which kills me. So I'm like,
those are important. John.
yeah. So I'm like, I'm not gonna start reading it until I get the full set of that series, or at least the first ones of it to start it. So I really haven't read. I've read like probably 6 or 7 issues of his Green Lantern series, but mainly it's because I love the mid '90s JLA series that he was in.
Yeah,
I know you and I were both big fans of that. So I didn't know much of the Hal Jordan Green Lantern because it was all Jon Stewart.
Which sounds crazy, John. I'm gonna throw that out there real quick. The fact that you didn't know much about Hal Jordan, but you're a big fan of Green Lantern is just so funny.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. But so yeah, I'm a big fan of Jon Stewart's Green Lantern.
He's really good, and the future project they got where it's a Green Lantern buddy cop series coming up that DC's working on and HBO. It's gonna have Hal Jordan and John as like buddy cops in space. I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be really good. Let's head to our number ones. I'll kick us off with our number ones. Mine is Spider-Man by Miles Morales. Okay, there's another one. It's not necessarily from the comic books. He came out in 2011. In the comic book wise, Stan Lee's a big fan of his, which is like that was kind of like really cool because you had Stan Lee, the guy who made Spider-Man, who was like, I love Miles Morales, super cool. I fell in love with him because of the game that came out, guys. I mean, like the movie was really good. I love that movie. It's one of the best Spider-Man movies. Might be the best one. But if you guys haven't played the game yet, you gotta check it out because they do such a good job of getting into his personality. He's kind of like he's the parts that everybody loves about Spider-Man, where he's a kid who's trying to figure out his powers and everything like that. It's amplified with Miles Morales. You're just wanting the best for him, and he's just trying to figure out his way through this world. It's really good. They do a really good job of showing more, especially in the game, of showing like the life of people living in Harlem and just like their everyday life, family, and stuff like that. And it's just so cool. Really a great character. I fell in love with that Spider-Man, and I cannot wait for them to try to bring him into the MCU. And I don't know who owns the rights to him. I don't know if it's Sony or if it's Marvel for Miles Morales. But if it is just Marvel, they need to pull the trigger on this now. He's just he's not as witty as like Peter Parker is. Peter Parker has that wittiness to him. He's always talking smack while he's doing stuff. But he's a lot more just like honest and just out to be a good guy and save his family and save his people and the people of New York and just oh man, the Miles Morales game got me hooked, and I'm looking forward to more from him. And of course, the movie that everybody should be watching. Daniel, what's your number one, man?
My number one is Static Shock.
There it is.
Dude, it had there somewhere.
Yeah, I love Static Shock. He was one of my favorite superheroes when I was growing up. I think I watched every episode when I was younger. I wish I remembered every episode, but just remember like parts of it. And I'm super excited for the new updated Static Shock that's coming out. Can't wait to get the comic books. Hopefully they kind of go off the old show, but it's the same thing, like cool kid and everything. But anyways, pretty much at that time in Static Shock, there's like this chemical gas was giving people certain powers, and he ended up getting hit with it, and then all of a sudden he could create electricity. So he decided to just be a superhero, and then he has a metal disc that's able to pretty much fly. He's able to fly with the metal disc.
Yeah.
Using electricity. And then he also has a sidekick partner, his classmate, who also wanted to fight crime with him. He's like the scientist, so he made his own setup. He didn't. I don't think he got gassed, but it was just more he made technology to help fight crime with him, and it was a really good superhero.
It was a fun series to watch too. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was just like it's almost like a Spider-Man. He's going to school
in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Fighting crime, but with electricity.
So yeah, not only they're bringing back the Static comics, but they're bringing back all of Milestone comics. So the one that almost made my list was Icon from Milestone. Yeah, really cool. You guys make sure you keep an eye out. We'll definitely be talking about it when it comes out for sure. Hardware is coming back and stuff like that, so it'll be really cool. Blood Syndicate. Yeah, all the Milestones come back. That's gonna be good. That's a good one, Dano. That's a good one. I knew it had to be on your list somewhere, and I was like, it's gotta be number one. And it's gotta be number one. Jonathan, what's your number one?
All right, my number one is kind of hard because you guys already talked about him a lot, but my number one's Black Panther. Nice. Again, I know the comics were great, I'm sure, but I didn't read any of the comics. I just really love
that movie, man.
It's just so good, and the character is great. Honestly, my favorite part of the movie. This is kind of sad for him being my number one. But my favorite part is the technology that they make out of the vibranium. How good they portray that in the movie. How awesome it looks, and all that. You know how they utilize it and everything. But his character is also amazing. One of my favorite things is how he is breaking down barriers, breaking down walls. At the end of the movie, of course, he reaches out and wants to use their technology to help better the whole world instead of just taking care of themselves and keeping it to themselves. I like how he has to confront his own, dead father and say, no, you are wrong. You shouldn't have tried to silence these people and hide what we have and keep it to ourselves and stuff like that. This needs to be shared with the world to help bring us all up together, kind of thing. So very, and like you said before, very morally driven. And like you said before, how he has to fight not just to keep his neighborhood safe or whatever, not let the local liquor store get robbed, but he is the leader and protector of all of Wakanda, and reaches out to protect the rest of the world, in exchange, as well, I guess, to keep their problems from coming to Wakanda. So yeah, just an awesome all around superhero.
I love how protective he is of Wakanda too. Yeah, it's like there could be a pretty big problem going on, but if it doesn't affect Wakanda, or like if it could put Wakanda into danger to get involved, no, I'm good. I love that. His battles with Namor too are pretty legendary as well, and that's something that if Chadwick was still with us, they would be going to next, I think, because Namor and him, that would be so cool to see on the big screen. Yeah, that's good stuff. He was almost my number one. I just got done playing Miles Morales, so it was hard. He's like stuck in my head right now. He's so cool. But it's a shame because it's like, yeah, again, I didn't read much of the comics of his comics, but that movie was so good. So it's all right, guys. That is it for us this week from Geek Freaks. We appreciate you guys joining us. Again, check out audibletrial.com/Geek Freaks if you want to support the show. We do appreciate it. We are upgrading things bit by bit, and that always helps. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Y'all take it easy and have a good week. Bye.
Bye.